Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today video we are going to talk about what is the difference between synchronous was asynchronous in JavaScript. So without much more talk, let's dive into the video. Synchronous and asynchronous. What is this, right? So maybe you will know that, but yeah, definitely stay with me. There's a few more things you need to know definitely. Those are definitely you don't know, but yes, in this video I will show you that as well, so stay tuned. So yeah, so synchronous, asynchronous, what is the thing coming to the mind? So yeah, synchronous mean the code which you are writing, those are execute one by one, right? So one after one. But asynchronous mean it's not execute in sequence. Instead of that, it's execute one, that is some of the things are not execute and jump into another one, get printed. This is what the difference between synchronous was asynchronous in JavaScript, right? So let's dive into the coding session and let's see how it will be, right? So, and I have visual representations also. I will show you visually as well how this event loop and everything will work. So yeah, to showing this, I have created three functions. One is function A, function B, and main function. So in function A, when someone is called, it should be print I am function A. Likewise, inside the function I have written a printing. So this will be when I call this function, it will be get printed in the console, right? So to showing this one, to execute, so I'm going to execute parallelly, so basically sequentially, right? So this is a sequence. So I'm execute a main function first, and after that I'm executing a function A and function B. Now if I let me save this one. So if I control enter, run the snippet, you can see now it's parallelly get printed I am main function, because we are calling this function main first of all, and second we are calling function A and function B. Now it's working sequentially, right? So so this is what we call synchronous. And also let me take out this A and B function, and I'm calling inside this main function, right? So if I call this one, so let me quickly save and remove the console, and 5 run the snippet once again. You can see here I'm calling a main function here. So inside this main function I am calling another function A and function B, right? So in the main function I'm saying to print when someone call, to print this I am from main function, right? So now you can see once again this is executing parallelly, right? And this is what we call synchronous. Synchronous means it's execute one after one. So it have some sequence to run that particular code. So this is what we call synchronous. Okay, then synchronous is, I know synchronous is basically it's straightforward, but if you talk about asynchronous, it's a kind of it's not a actually it's a straightforward, but it's a little bit of a tricky when we are compared to this synchronous. Synchronous is very easy to execute because you know that it's execute one after one, right? So for a function A, what I'm doing is, so you can see here right now it's printing in the sequence A and B, right? So in the function A, I'm doing a small modification. What I am doing is I am inside this function A, what I am doing is I'm going to set a timeout. So set timeout and call back, and I am setting a time for 1 second, and inside I'm calling this, I'm going to console log of function A. Now what do you think? If I run this snippet, maybe you will think once again, yeah, actually you will think like, yeah, first of all a main function is get print, and second is B function, I am function B is get print, and lastly I am function A will be get print, right? So let's see run that. Okay, shall we see the result? Okay, now you can see I am function B, function A. Correct, your answer is correct. Yeah. So now why you are telling like that is, I know that. So because in the function A, we are setting a timeout, right, with delay and print the result within a second, right, within a 1 second. Okay, now let me make it 0, this timeout. So there's no any delays. So what do you think right now? If I run this snippet, what do you think? Okay, I'm going to run this one. Now you can see still main function log is get printed, and once again it's not showing a console, it's not showing a function A. Instead of that, what is the thing written in the function B get printed. You get confused, right? Why? Because this is asynchronous behavior. So this set timeout fetch, if you are talk with APIs, you using fetch and promises, and the DOM API, these are web browser APIs. That is the reason if you know about this event loop, you will get know little bit about this what you can say, this asynchronous behavior. It's because it's behave like something different, right? So yeah, let me show you in the visual diagram. For a showing purpose, I have designed this one. So it's basically a event loop. In the left side you can see my functions. So for the here you can see these are the functions I have declared, and the same thing I have mentioned here also, and the result also mentioned here, right? So what is the behavior happening here, right? So let's see in the visually, right? So here we in the function A we have a set timeout 0, and function B we have a function B get print, and main function is there. So in this main function I'm calling A and B, right? So the time delay is 0. If I call a A, it should be print function A, and if I call a B, it should be printed like a sequentially. But in here it's not happening sequentially, right? So let's see that one in the visually. So now I have a main function. So once I call this main function, what happen is this main function is going to here. So it's on a call stack. So now in this main function we have I am main function get print. So I am main function coming here, right, and get printed in the console. So console is you can see it's similar to browser, so it's just a box. Just showing purpose I am taking this one. And yeah, in the function A the log is get printed. I am main function. Now I'm calling function A. Now inside this main we have a function A, right? This is how it is. So function A is there. So now inside go to function A, we can see set timeout. So set timeout is coming to the picture here. So it's a set timeout. So to show it this one, let me take this set timeout, take as a set timeout, right? So in this set timeout, it is a browser API, right? So it's a browser API. You can see here set timeout, promise, and the DOM API and fetch. These are browser API. So the set timeout is 0, but assume we have what we can say, we have set 1000 milliseconds, so it means 1 second. So after that what happen is, so the set timeout is still in a web API because it's getting delay because we set a time here. So now in the meantime you can see we need to call function B. So it's moved, this function A things is moved to this thing, and right, and here we have to call function B. Now we have a function B that is should be print function B, right? So function B is get print here. Now we have this set timeout in the browser. So timeout is the task is done. What happen is this browser is move into this call back queue. So it's basically this is a callback queue. So you can see if you don't know about the callback, you can see this is the function inside or function taking another function as argument. That is what we call callback, right? So this is what we call callback. So it's basically a callback set timeout. Now these things are printed and get take off one by one, right? Now we have everything's a take out or clear from the call stack. Now what happen is this event loop is checking this call stack, whether call stack is empty, and checking between this callback queue and the call stack. So once these get cleared, so once these are done, it will be get cleared, right? So now event loop know this call stack doesn't have anything to perform. So this is the right time to take this call back and print move to call stack and get print this function A. So now it's moving to here call stack. So that is responsibility is going for this event loop. So this guy is moving to call stack. Now this guy is getting printed, this one. So now this is get read, right? So now you can see this is IAM function, function B and function A. So the same result you can see in the console. So this is how it's working with the event loop, right? So this is what we call the behavior, asynchronous behavior. Whatever the code you are writing, if it is related to web API or you can say a browser API, it always going to be asynchronous, right? So this is what we call the difference. This is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous, right? So I hope you guys are clear on this, right? So this is really straightforward. I just visually represent you because you can understand very clearly here, right? So there's one more thing here. So this let's say I have a set timeout in the set timeout in the function A, and I'm using a promise here. So let's see, I'm going to create a promise here, return a new promise, and it will take a resolve and reject, right? And here should be resolve. What I am saying is I am function B, right? And I am using then method, then only I can take the result from the resolving. So now I am console logging, but the result. Okay, now if I execute or if I run this code snippet, what do you think? What is the result, right? Okay, now here I am calling once again the main function, and it will definitely get print I am main function. I am calling a function A. So here it is a function A and function B. So this is returning a promise, right? So what do you think? Maybe your answer is like it should print I am main function first. That is correct. Function A is getting print because these when you are showing these browser API, these set timeout promise, and these are you saying it's a browser API, so it will having some delays. Yeah, okay. And function B, it's a promise. So you think like main function, function A and function B. Okay, shall we run this snippet? Okay, let's see now. Oh no, where your answer? Your answer is incorrect, right? So why is, I will demonstrate that as well. So I am main function is first get invoked. So that is get printed, that is correct. And I am function B is get print instead of this function A. And lastly function A is coming to the picture. But maybe you will get confused. Then right, you said right, so browser web APIs are like a set timeout, promise, and the DOM API fetch. These are, you said, the browser API, so it will definitely take a time. So if it is a browser API, so we have the set timeout is 0, then it should be the one definitely need to print, right? So that is the question you get asked, and that is the question you will definitely get raised in your head. So yeah, because there is a one more queue is coming to the picture, that is no one is talking about, even in the tutorials, even in some of the article I couldn't find. So that is the callback is called job queue. So that is another queue is available, that is called job queue, right? So this what job queue is doing is, so yeah, there's one more thing need to highlight. So the callback is called macro task, right? The job queue is called micro task, right? So if you not heard about these terms, just Google it, because I'm also learning from Google it, and I'm also learning from many resources. So it's all about everything. As a human, we don't know everything, right? But we can learn everything in the internet. We can do the researches about, we can do in depth about any kind of a topic, any kind of things, right? So yeah, so there's one more callback come, that is job queue. So job queue. So job queue is basically, it's it's another queue. Whatever the promise is getting created, right? So these are basically coming to job queue. So we when you think about this set timeout, these are having a callbacks, right? So this is a callback queue. So these set timeout, everything's are coming to the callback, but promise and fetch are different totally. So those are basically coming to job queue, right? So when you let's say once the call stack is done, we have the parallelly this what you can say, this set timeout, right? And the what you can say, the promise. Let me show you new promise. Yeah, right, new promise. Now you can see here now. Okay, let's go from the sketch, right? So let's take rid this console first. Now what I did is, I have a main function. First I'm calling a main function, so it's coming to the call stack, right? Second I'm calling it's getting printed because we are invoking. So main, I am from main functions get print here in the console. Now we have a function B, we have function A is called, right? So in the function A having what? Function A having set timeout. So set timeout is here inside this function. So it's a browser API, it's coming to here. Now I'm calling function B. So now function B is get called here in the call stack, right? So in this function B having what? Returning a new promise. So it's a promise. So once again, this function B having the promise, inside we writing the promise returning. So once again we have this promise. Now yes, correct, set timeout and new promise is there. So web API, these are basically browser API, or we can say a web API, right? So set timeout, it's having a callback. So I already told you callback mean what? A function taking another function as an argument, that is called callback. So this is a callback. So this is a callback queue. It's moving once the timeout is done, delay is done, it's moving to callback. But promise is different. So promise is not coming to callback, because it's a micro task. So it's a job queue. There's a one queue called job queue. Let's move into job queue here. It's coming here. Now these two are get printed. So now everything's are done here. So these guys are call stack is getting removed here, right? So everything's are removed. So now when you then event loop is checking between these callback queue and job queue and the call stack. So now event loop no callback is empty. But in the callback and the job queue, we have parallelly, or we have same time, we have the set timeout and the promises. But in here, event loop is giving a priority to job queue, not for a callback queue. So due to this reason, the new promise is coming here, right? After that, the new promise is getting printed. So that is function B, right? And the meantime is get removed and the set timeout is come into the picture. So basically, yeah, it's like this. New promise, right? So this is done. It's get printed function B. Now set timeout is coming into the stack and function A is getting what? Print. So now main function B and A. So this is how the event loop is working with them. So this is the behavior called asynchronous behavior. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. You learn about the difference between synchronous and asynchronous in JavaScript. I have a small request to all of you. So if you are not yet subscribed my channel, go below and hit the subscribe button, and this will motivate me to create a lot of video for you and teaching more things to you. So it's coming to end of the video. Then guys, I will catch you on new video. Bye.